So, coming at you guys today from from like a mesic woodland that's kind of interfacing with the riparian system. I think some of these depressions and oxbows and stuff like that are kind of getting formed from the east arm of the Little Cow spilling into this woodland here, giving rise to some vernal pools. I was just playing around in one with some little amphipods. I'm really what I'm on the hunt for this spring is these freshwater fairy shrimp. But we won't talk about them right now. I'm getting distracted because lots of stuff's happening. But what we're here to talk about is this dainty little one of the earliest blooming spring flowers, and it is quite a dainty one. We're gonna have to zoom in a little bit on this. Yeah, there we go. So this right here, this little white guy with the pink reddish anthers, this is, maybe you're familiar, but that's how big it is. So absolutely minuscule. So this is Erigenia bulbosa, the harbinger of spring, or the salt and pepper plant. Gets the name harbinger of spring because of its early bloom time. Salt and pepper plant because of the contrast of the anthers against the petals there. Like I mentioned before, this guy's a member of the Apiaceae, the carrot family. And if you're first getting into botany, make sure you start out familiarizing yourself. Oh, I dropped my glasses. Familiarizing yourself with the familial traits. So some familial traits of the Apiaceae that are a giveaway. Say you didn't know that this was Erigenia bulbosa, and you just thought it was, what family am I going to put this in? So the traits you're going to be looking at, you'll note first, you got this nice little ridged stem here. Absolutely, kind of a characteristic of the Apiaceae. You've got some dissected foliage there. See how it's kind of lacy? And then you've got a umbelliform inflorescence. So the flowering arrangement looks like an umbrella that got flipped, turned upside down, like a Queen Anne's lace, which is another Daucus carota, another member of the Apiaceae. This guy's got a tiny little tuber down at the base that he stores up all his nutrients in. Perennial plant, very, very cute. But there's something really cool about here. Oh, God, look at how little he is. Oh, there's a spider on my arm. Oh, look at that. It's a little wolf, maybe? Oh, it jumped off. Oh, there it goes. There it is. Maybe a little lycosid? I don't know. I'm bad at spiders. Bad at a lot. But this is Erigenia bulbosa. So that's like your etymology, how you're going to make the identification call. But what's really cool about this plant is something I don't see popularized that well. And we're going to talk about that right now. Oh, check that out. Is that some pollination I'm watching? Yeah, we got a dipteran going at it on the Erigenia. Some early awakening fly. That's badass. You gotta love the dipterans, man. They're a really cool group of bugs. Oh, off he goes. But yeah, dipterans are really important pollinators. A lot of people don't know that though. Everyone just says, mosquitoes and horseflies. Grow up. There's so many more flies than that. Come on, branch out a bit. So we're gonna dip into the realm of mycology in this last segment of the video to discuss what I think is probably one of the coolest features of the Erigenia. And to do that, we'll first need a little bit of background information on on mycorrhizae. Okay, so what a mycorrhizae basically is, in its most bare bones definition that I can give and still be kind of accurate, it's a symbiotic relationship between the roots of a plant and a fungus. Now, there are many different kinds of mycorrhizal associations. You, the audience, should be pointing this way. Hurts my wrist though. But you guys are probably familiar with the ectomycorrhizae. That's very common in the basidiomycotin fungi. So, you know, that's why morel hunters are always like, I don't even know if morels are technically mycorrhizal. There's not a lot. They're a complicated fungus. I picked a bad example. But you know how mushroom hunters are always going off about hen of the woods being found at the base of oak trees, for example? There you go. That's a mycorrhizae. That's kind of a more exclusive one. There are more generalist ones, but that's the one you're probably familiar with, is those big charismatic fruiting basidiomycotin fungi and hardwood or conifer trees is probably where you're familiar with this. But there are other kinds of mycorrhizae, like a vesicular arbuscular mycorrhizae, okay? Which is a bit of a mouthful. But a vesicular arbuscular mycorrhizae, it's a relation with soil fungi instead of the basidiomycotins, primarily members of the glomeromycota. But what's crazy, we'll talk about that. What's absolutely bonkers about Erigenia bulbosa, this little dude doesn't have any mycorrhizal affinity. No vesicular arbuscular mycorrhizae, no nothing. So it's doing everything solo, which is very impressive when you consider the fact that I believe the figure is like 90% of extant vascular species all form some semblance of a mycorrhizae, be it like I said, there's a lot of different types, so I'm not going to bore you with just rattling them off. Read up more on them, though. They are fascinating, but, you know, I'm not the best. You know, even cool stuff can be dry if you're not interested in it. So go dig it up yourself. But, yeah, there was a research paper that came out of Ohio in the 90s, which I'll cite right here. Look that paper up. It's a good paper. But, yeah, basically found that the Erigenia bulbosa does not form any vesicular arbuscular mycorrhizal relations with the soil fungi, which is wild because apparently the mycorrhizal associations, they're kind of common in the Apiaceae, is what the paper offered as kind of something else that's a bit weird. But the paper also was very good. It offered some potential theories for why the Erigenia doesn't. And the one I like better, one of them was like chemical defenses against fungi, which, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But in my opinion, the better explanation is temperature. Like Erigenia bulbosa, like I said, one of the earliest blooming spring wildflowers we get. You know, typically I see it in March, going off third week of February for some reason. Thanks, ExxonMobil. But yeah. Anyways, so usually the soil is pretty damn cold when Erigenia starts to go. So as a result, the fungi aren't able to partner up, and then it just dies back. So no fungal relations for the Erigenia on the basis of that early emergence time, but it's still doing its thing, hacking it pretty good. And yeah, Erigenia bulbosa and the vesicular arbuscular mycorrhizae. Yeah. And this was going off right next to that Erigenia. This orange stuff, it's growing on Claytonia virginica. I believe it's an obligate for Claytonia virginica. But this is pretty cool to see. This is a rust fungus. I believe it's like Puccinia. I always forget the species name on this one. It's a Puccinia for sure, though, which is pretty cool. You'll note those little orange bumps giving its identity away immediately. Oh yeah. Another sign of spring is the emergence of the Puccinia, because I don't know. I just see stuff happen around this time of year, and I'm like, oh, it's a goddamn sign of spring. And cranes are flying over your head, sign of spring. Spring peepers peeping, sign of spring. See a rust fungus, sign of spring. I'm kind of losing it a little bit out here, but goddamn, it's a beautiful day. Anyways, might be the end of the video, might not be. I might find something else cool. Okay. So almost stepped on top of this, which doesn't look like much at the moment, but it is this is quite a badass find for me. This is some species, I recognize it by the seed pods. Not going to be able to tell you much about distinguishing features and identification or all that. You're just going to have to trust me. Know it by the seed pods. So this is a coral Erigenia, or what's left of last year's coral Erigenia. Gonna have to do some digging to figure out which species this is. Yeah, because I'm not too good at my coral Erigenias. The cool thing about the coral Erigenias, the coral root orchids, is that these guys, so, you know, I love it when a fucking video theme comes together. So we talked about how the Erigenia can make its living without any vascular arbuscular mycorrhizae. This guy was also modifying the mycorrhizal game. The coral Erigenias are mycoheterotrophs, which you'll remember from my video about like Monotropa uniflora, and when I shot that parasite video when I was looking for fungus. You don't remember it, it's okay. I make yeah, whatever. But anyway, this guy parasitizes fungi, so I like to say that these plants eat fungus, anthropomorphizing a little bit, but they do parasitize fungi. They take advantage of the mycorrhizal interface and utilize it for nefarious purposes. So this orchid will not produce chlorophyll. It won't be green at all. Pretty badass though. Yeah, coral Erigenia. Let's see what's going on down at the base. I gotta be really gentle. There's a remnant of the leaf on there. It's just fucking around. Don't have anything better to do though. As you can see, descending into the soil, there's a corm down there, I believe. I don't know. Coral Erigenia though, almost invisible. Can't believe I spotted that shit. Anyways, that's looking like it for signs of spring. Talked a little bit about some cool mycorrhizal action again. Have a good one, folks. Spring's on the horizon. I really promise.